But let's go ahead and start off with Saturday's card because a lot of y'all, I'm gonna be real, man. A lot of y'all just really love this Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, CM Punk match because y'all said this was the best card between the two. I mean, y'all can give y'all y'all answers down below. I'm even gonna have it as one of the polls of which card, or which night is better. But let's go ahead and start from the bottom because we have Rey Mysterio versus El Grande Americano. I'm not gonna lie to you. I've already said it before. I don't know why the heck this match is on the card, but I have two predictions as for who El Grande Americano is. It's either A, Jason Jordan, and I would really love for it to be Jason Jordan because it would be a very funny moment in WWE history, or B, it's Julius Creed. And it really does actually look like him if you look at it very, very closely because he has like a little bit of a beard right here, and Chad Gable doesn't have like little hair on his chin, but Julius Creed does. They also have kind of similar eye color, although to be fair, like his eyes are usually covered up, but you can see like a hint of like a light bluish, but it might just be the dang mask once again. But this part right here, the chin, the mouth, definitely looks like Julius Creed, so I wouldn't be surprised if at WrestleMania this year, because of the fact that it's not going to actually be who Rey Mysterio thinks it is, which is Chad Gable, and it's going to be Julius Creed. That's going to throw Chad Gable off it's going to throw Rey Mysterio off so much to the point where he is going to lose. And shout out to my guy, Julius Creed. He's going to get a big WrestleMania win. And I also said before that I think Julius Creed is going to get a really big push sooner or later. He feels like if anybody's going to be Kurt Angle, it's definitely going to be Julius Creed because of how he has the size, he has the athleticism, and all we really got to do is get the mic work there, and I'm pretty sure a guy like Chad Gable would be able to help him out a lot with that mic work. Now, for the next match, we have Naomi versus Jade Cargill. I'm not going to lie to you, I really am hyped for this match. I will say this. This is a hard one because if I want to go with my former prediction was that Jade is going to defeat Naomi once, and then Naomi will get the Money in the Bank, and then Jade will go face Charlotte Flair at SummerSlam. My only issue with that is if I do go with that one, we don't know what's happening with King and Queen of the Ring. Now, I made that prediction based off of King and Queen of the Ring that Jade Cargill was going to win Queen of the Ring, going to face Charlotte Flair because Charlotte Flair would win the women's championship from Tiffany. Naomi would get Money in the Bank, cashing on that match. We'll get Naomi versus Jade at like it wouldn't be Bash in Berlin. It would be Clash in Paris, or as I like to call it, Payback in Paris. That one sounds a lot better. But I think that it would happen there if they were going to do something like that. I just don't know if it's going to happen because of the fact that King and Queen of the Ring may not be happening this year. It's basically believed that it's not going to be happening. So I don't know how the heck Jade Cargill would get Queen of the Ring if the PLE isn't happening. You understand what I'm saying? It don't work out like that if you don't have the Queen of the Ring. I was going to try to make another rhyme, but it just didn't work. So yeah, I think Jade is still going to win. I just don't know what's going to happen going forward is the thing. But if they do Queen and King of the Ring last second, then I still think my plan will play out and it'd be pretty damn good. Next up, we have the tag team champions of the War Raiders versus the New Day. Oh, this match is sick, man. This match should not be on WrestleMania. I feel like the only reason it's going to be there is because the New Day are going to lose. There's no other reason for this match to be there if you're going to give like the New Day the win, mainly because of the fact that you haven't actually built the War Raiders up as like this super big babyface tag team that the New Day could take down. I feel like you've kind of already messed things up with the New Day, so I'm going to say the War Raiders win here because Big E gets involved. Again, I don't really like the match. If the New Day win, though, shout out to my dogs, the New Day. No, don't really care for this match. This is one that I might just go to sleep on for a minute. And probably this next one as well. So I kind of hope that these do happen back to back. Because the next match up is the United States Championship match of LA Knight versus Jacob Fatu. Ugh, man. Ugh. This match sucks. I do not want to watch LA Knight going one-on-one with Jacob Fatu. I watched that match in 2K25, and oh man, it was a boring match. It didn't even get past 2 stars, and I don't think it's going to get past a 2-star rating at WrestleMania. I don't think many people are going to care for this match. Maybe LA Knight shows us something that'll make this match a lot better. Maybe something crazy happens in this match. But I think Solo Sikoa probably wins this one. I mean, not Solo Sikoa. What the hell? I was thinking ahead to something else completely different. I think Jacob Fatu wins this one. And then maybe Solo Sikoa, Maybe Solo kind of like tried to get involved during the match, doesn't really work out the best. Jacob Fatu is still able to get the win because he's just Jacob Fatu, a Samoan werewolf. But him and Solo kind of get into it afterwards. But I think that wouldn't really make as much sense. So if Solo was to get involved, I think LA Knight does retain. I just think that Jacob Fatu is going to win because they want an absolute monster in that U.S. title division. They also want to put a belt onto Jacob Fatu so they can keep, pushing him. I think him and Solo would be cool to run, but it's like, where do you go after that if Jacob Fatu and Solo Sikoa happen, and then, you have LA Knights still with the belt? Are we going to do Jacob Fatu versus LA Knight again? Like, my God, please, no, I don't need that at all. But this next match, I'm pretty interested in seeing still. Tiffany Stratton, Charlotte Flair. I don't really like the way that the feud has gone so far with these past 2 weeks. I did like the attack from Charlotte Flair on Tiffany Stratton. I thought that was really cool. Also, Charlotte looks pretty cool in baggy clothes. Very few skinny folk can pull off that look, so shout out to Charlotte Flair. But this match is going to be really good, I think. I don't really know where it's going to go after this. Like, where does Tiffany Stratton actually go if she does win the belt? So I'm going to go with Charlotte Flair. I could see them running it back like how they did Charlotte and Ronda. I personally don't like it if you run it back at Backlash. Like if Tiffany Stratton does win. But I don't know. I'm so confused with this whole entire feud now because now we're getting reports that Backstage was mad, but Charlotte and Tiffany did go off script, but apparently it was like a planned off script. But then why would Backstage be mad? Did the off scripting not go as good as it was supposed to go if they were going to go off script? But then again, if you are going to go off script, don't you have like a backup script there? But if you have a backup script there, are you really going off script? I don't really know. It's so weird, man. I think maybe just like the crowd was, the issue there, which I've said for a minute now, the American crowds are very, very irritable when it comes to just getting involved and kind of overshadowing the wrestlers. Not even American crowds. American WWE crowds just overshadow the heck out of the wrestlers, and they do mess up a lot of the things because it's like you can get loud, but I feel like when it's very clear that you're probably not supposed to be getting as loud as you actually are, you're not supposed to continuously do it, especially when you see that like the wrestlers are kind of like, shh, shh, so it's like, I don't know. But I think Charlotte Flair is going to win this match regardless. I think that was always the plan, was to have her to win, eventually probably pass the title off to Jade Cargill or maybe Naomi or whoever the heck is going to, it's probably like one of those two that's going to be getting it. I would assume Jade Cargill. I think Tiffany Stratton, they're probably going to go back to the lab with her for a little bit because she does need to work on a lot of things. I just don't know where you go with Tiffany Stratton going forward. Like, even if you don't bring in Mariah May, let's just take off that whole possibility of it actually happening. Where do you go with Tiffany? I don't see any feuds available for Tiffany. I don't see any storylines available for Tiffany. So it's like, do you actually have her retain the belts? Do you possibly have her feuding with Chelsea Green to get the United States belt? Do you really want to have that happen already? I don't know the direction for Tiffany, and I'm going to be honest with you, as somebody who loves the fantasy book, I couldn't even really think of something off the top of my head, because usually a lot of the great ones come off the top of my head. I could sit down and think of one, but even when I tried sitting down thinking of one, it's not worked, because there's nothing there for Tiffany other than going back to NXT for a minute, because your main roster call might have just been too quick. But then the problem is, if you have her go back down to NXT, doesn't that kind of hurt her in a sense? Because you just came off of dethroning Nia Jax, who had arguably one of the best women's championship runs over the past few years. Then you had your own, your own women's championship run within like the first year of you even being on the main roster. But now you're going back down to NXT. It's kind of the same thing with Lyra. It's like, I don't know. It's weird. I don't know. I mean, maybe they could run this feud much longer, but I think WWE is probably as done with this feud as a lot of other people are. So, yeah, I think Charlotte wins, and we're going to have to figure out something for Tiffany Stratton going forward. Next up, though, we have the World Heavyweight Championship match of Gunther versus Jey Uso. This is likely going to be opening. No, not even likely. I would bet. Well, I'm not going to bet my house on it because knowing WWE, they're going to see this video and be like, Oh, so you mean the mofo that's been hating on us for a good amount of time now done bet their house? Okay, bet. We're going to not have Jey Uso versus Gunther in the middle, and you're going to lose your damn house. We're going to come repo it ourselves. We're going to have Braun Strowman and them boys just pulling your house off. Nah, I'm not going to bet my house, but I'm going to bet Let me see. I'm gonna go ahead and bet Kiba. Yeah, I'm betting my Kiba Funko Pop on, Jey Uso and Gunther opening the show. Kiba, sorry, man. You tried saying you were gonna be the Hokage. Weird times, man. Weird times. But then again, we laughed at this guy, but didn't laugh at Sasuke. So, who knows? That guy was a terrorist. I don't know if I can say the actual word on like other streaming platforms, so that's why I said it like that. But yeah, no, I think Jey Uso wins this match. There's literally zero chance that this man actually loses. It would make zero sense for this man to lose. Like, you're gonna have Gunther win going forward. What would be the reasoning? Who are you running against Gunther? You don't have Ilya Dragunov back yet. You could do Braun Breaker, and maybe Braun Breaker is like the better champion going forward. I would just personally rather do Jey Uso for the big moment. And you could easily have Seth Rollins, if he, does become a Paul Heyman guy, have him dethrone Jey within like a couple of months if it doesn't really work out. You could easily run like a Seth Rollins, maybe Jey Uso feud. I don't even know who the heck you would do. Post WrestleMania is going to be weird for a lot of people. I think Jey versus Drew McIntyre would happen first, if anything, because obviously Drew McIntyre doesn't like Jey Uso. Jey doesn't like Drew. They already have a story there. It's real easy. Just post WrestleMania feud to run. So yeah. Now going into the main event of the night, we have Roman Reigns versus Seth Rollins versus CM Punk. And I 1000% believe that Seth Rollins is winning this match. I think he becomes a Paul Heyman guy, and I think he's eventually going to get that World Heavyweight Championship back. And that'll be like a really good way to transition it over to whoever you want to transition it to, whether it be Roman Reigns or CM Punk. Either way, you can just easily get the belt on over to him. That does mean, though, that I think you probably keep a lot of them on SmackDown, or you're moving the World Heavyweight title or you're keeping the World Heavyweight title on Raw, which I personally don't see WWE wanting to do, because I think John Cena is mainly going to be on Raw, and if he wins the WWE Undisputed Championship, there's no way that you're moving both titles over to Raw. I mean, my bad. There's no way that John Cena is staying on SmackDown, and there's no way that you're keeping both titles on Raw. It just wouldn't make any sense at all unless Netflix is giving you that big of a bag. So it's really weird. I don't know, man. Like, this is why I have like such like a hard time deciding who the heck's gonna win between Cody and John Cena, because John Cena's biggest feuds are all on Raw. Now, he is a free agent, so I guess you can easily do that. But if you have him mainly on Raw and you have your World Heavyweight Championship mainly on Raw, what the heck are you doing to SmackDown? It's just slapping it in the face. And I've already said before that WWE used to do this thing where they would like knock SmackDown. But my goodness, we're taking both belts off. But then again, they did that with Roman Reigns to Raw. So I actually could see the world where they do that. It would just be really sick. Although I guess you could move Jey Uso over to SmackDown. You can move Seth over to SmackDown. You have Seth and Paul Heyman there. Seth eventually gets the belt. And then maybe you just have the kind of like, I don't know, just the whatever kind of rule that champions could just transfer over to any roster they want to go to. I don't know where you're going to go with that. But I do think Seth Rollins wins this match regardless. The future, though, is very, very odd. Now, as for night 2, I'm going to say this now because there's only 6 matches. I'm predicting it. I think Randy Orton versus Nick Aldis does happen. No, my bad. I had that written down. I think Randy Orton versus Sikoa happens. I think Randy defeats Solo, Tama Tonga, and then probably come in the ring. Nick Aldis is probably going to come out there to help Randy, like quote-unquote help him. Or maybe somebody comes out there to help Randy, and then Nick Aldis comes out of nowhere and does attack Randy Orton, setting up a match between those two at Backlash. Because I just don't think that... I don't think you're going to have Randy versus John Cena at Backlash. You could do it if John Cena does win. If Cody wins, I could see none of this happening, and then it's just Randy versus Solo Sikoa. I personally don't like the match being set up. It just feels like such a kind of match, but at least they're giving Solo Sikoa something because of the fact that, he did do a lot of big things in 2024, and I feel like he really should be paid back by having a WrestleMania match. It just feels so weird is the only thing, because it's just like, man, I don't like Randy versus Solo. When you had Randy talking crazy to Nick Aldis, you gotta either do Randy Nick Aldis or you're doing Randy Nick Aldis at Backlash, one of the two, and you're gonna have Nick Aldis attacking Randy Orton at WrestleMania, setting up like a really big WrestleMania moment up for him, and then everybody's gonna be really hyped going into Backlash. Either way, though, whoever Randy faces, whether it's Nick Aldis or Solo Sikoa, he's beating by either one of them. They're not doing Aleister Black anymore. I think that one's just very obvious that they're not gonna do it. I think he's also on a 30-day as reported, so yeah, we're not gonna be getting that match. Next up, though, can I cry? Can I just cry? Oh, man. Oh, it's AJ Styles versus Logan Paul. I'm not even going to lie to y'all. I'm not watching this match. I'm not doing it, man. No, I'm not going to see my guy losing this match. I'm not seeing AJ Styles lose to freaking Logan Paul. This guy is an icon, one of the greatest wrestlers to ever touch this dang match. I'm not seeing this man lose to Logan Paul. It's going to be the sickest thing that has ever happened in the sport of wrestling. I'm not doing this, so I'm skipping this match. I think AJ Styles is sadly going to be losing it. And it's just, oh, man, it's a slap in the face to AJ Styles. And you could say, you know, like, hey, if he's okay with it, you should be okay with it. I'm not okay with it. I don't care if AJ Styles is okay with it. I truly don't. This match is stupid. It shouldn't even be happening. Logan Paul should not be at WrestleMania. No, I'd rather see AJ Styles versus literally anybody else. You could have thrown him into the Intercontinental Championship match, made it a fatal 5-way ladder match, whatever you want to do. You could have thrown him into the U.S. title picture if you really wanted to do it. You were setting up AJ Styles and Braun Breaker, so it's like, why didn't you just do that? You had either that match or you had a fatal 5-way or a 6-man match. I would have even taken AJ Styles and Logan Paul in the IC match. That would have been better for me, not having to see AJ Styles lose to Logan Paul. That just sucks so much. Next match, though, we have a Sin City Street Fights, Drew McIntyre versus Damian Priest. I think Drew McIntyre needs to win here more, only because if Jey Uso wins, how the heck does Drew McIntyre get to the World Heavyweight Championship if he loses? It would be Damian Priest. Unless you really want to have Jey just have like 3 good months with the belts, so you would have him defeat Damian Priest and then have him defeat Drew McIntyre and then lose to Seth Rollins. I don't know, because my only issue with having Jey lose so early, if it is to Seth Rollins, is do you really want your past 2 WrestleMania World Heavyweight Champion winners basically being more or less transitional champions? Like, do you really, really want that? I mean, being a transitional champion isn't the worst thing in the world. I'm going to be honest with you, but it's just like, I don't like it for Jey Uso, man. Jay's done a lot over the past few years where I feel like he deserves like at least a credible run. I don't really know what you do there with Jey Uso. Well, no, actually, you have a few matches. Because you could easily go Jey Uso versus Solo Sikoa 1. You can go Jey Uso versus Drew McIntyre 2. You can go Jey Uso versus Damian Priest 3. And then you could go Seth Rollins 4. That would get you about 4 months into his reign. If you want to even, do Damian... No, you'd probably do Solo first. You bring him over to SmackDown. So Solo, I don't know how you would do it. But Solo, maybe somebody else, Damian, Drew, and then Seth. You could even stretch it out to 5 months if you actually want to do Tama Tonga as well. You could do Tonga Loa too. That'd be really funny. But we're not doing Tonga Loa. No, that's not the match that we're doing. That's not that. He is not a World Heavyweight title, and he's not a World Heavyweight champion, and he's not in that dang kind of picture. But you could do Solo, Tama Tonga, Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest, and then, well, I guess how do you not do Jacob there? Yeah, that's a little weird. You got to do Solo at least. You at least got to do that one. The other ones, who knows? Maybe if it's a much better match this time, we could do Jay versus Jimmy. I don't really want to see a part 2 to this match, though, is the only thing. But I'm not completely mad about it because at least you're paying Jimmy back. Unless, you could go Solo Tama and then have Jimmy Uso and Jacob Fatu start feuding at some point in time because Jacob Fatu comes out. He wants to challenge next, but then Jimmy Uso comes out and he starts going after Jacob to get that United States Championship off of him if he does win the belt. So you could always do that as well. I wouldn't be mad at that, honestly. But I do think, though, you have to have Drew McIntyre most likely win this match because I think Damian Priest beating him is just... No, I would rather have Drew McIntyre win, let Damian Priest rest up, come back. You could even have him rest up until the point where Seth Rollins gets the belt, and then Damian Priest versus Seth Rollins is the first match. I think that'd be a really damn good match, especially because Seth Rollins would be the heel, Damian Priest would be the face, so it'd be really damn good. It's just when does, I guess, Seth get that belt is the only thing. Do you want to have Damian off air for that long? But it would be a really big pop when he came back. Next up, we have the Women's Tag Team Championship match of Liv Morgan and Raquel versus Bayley and Lyra Valkyria. Part of me is still really, really hoping that Bayley and Lyra get taken out either on Monday or on Friday, and Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross get announced as like the mystery opponents at WrestleMania. Ooh. Nah, I don't want to see the possibility of Lyra becoming a double champion. It's going to hurt me to my core because of the fact that she does not deserve to be double champion yet. No way, no how. If she improves the mic and character work, then we can start talking. But right now, I just can't see it at all. It just doesn't feel right in my opinion. So, no, I have Liv and Raquel retaining. But I'm going to be honest with you. At some point in time, can we just get rid of these damn belts? I'm tired of these women's tag belts. I'm going to be real with you. And not because I think the women shouldn't have these belts. I just think you're not doing anything with the belts, so just get rid of them. Like look at, man, hey, man, I'm 100% for equality and all, but you ain't doing shit with these tag belts. Get rid of them. You can have the women's mid-cards, have the women's top 2 championships, and leave it at that. Hell, I would even unify the men's championships, to be honest. I mean, the men's tag team championships, to be honest. So, yeah, no, I want these belts done away with. It's really just kind of pointless because I don't even know what the heck Liv and Raquel do going forward. Like, if you couldn't find a match for WrestleMania, are you telling me you have nothing planned out for these two women going forward? You're going to do Lash Legend Jakara Jackson? Okay, what do you do after that? Sol Ruca and Zarya? Oh, so we just going to peek. So we just going to be on NXT 24/7 is what we're doing, huh? Because we probably ain't going to call them up that damn soon, and you really ain't going to run like a credible feud with them. So it's like, no, I would not do this. I swear, though, if this ends in Nikki Bella and Brie Bella winning the dang tag team championships off Liv and Raquel, I'm going to be sick to my stomach, man. I'm going to be sick. I don't care how big bad Liv and Raquel are of, like, heels. I don't want to see those two getting the belts. Next up, we have the Intercontinental Championship match of Braun Breaker versus Penta versus Finn Balor versus Dominic Mysterio. Yeah, how the hell did y'all say that night one was better, man? Look at the match that we're getting right now. This is going to be a 5-star classic match. No, my bad. A 5-star legendary match according to 2K. But I think Dominic Mysterio is going to get the win here. Let me make sure I didn't skip over anything because I felt like I did. Okay, no, I didn't. I think Dominic Mysterio is going to get the win here. We could easily run a feud with Dominic Mysterio and Finn Balor. If we are going to turn Dom face, I'm honestly not mad at it at all. I don't want it to happen just yet because I feel like he could be like a really big heel going forward. But if you want to kind of pave his career out like an Eddie Guerrero, I'm going to be real with you. I don't think it's going to work. I don't think it's going to work at all because Dom, and this is no offense to Dom. I mean, no disrespect to Dom, by the way. Dom for the Latin community isn't what Eddie was. And I'm not saying that that's the only reason why Eddie got over, because obviously Eddie was an incredible wrestler as well. But it was that, and it was also the addiction story, you know, like the whole thing with Brock Lesnar and all that. Like, overcoming a lot of this stuff, like, that's what really got Eddie over. Dom doesn't have that. The only thing I could see you doing here with Dominic Mysterio, which I think is a really good idea, is you have Dominic Mysterio in May, because we would be in May next month, so it's not going to be that long, that long away. You could have Dom break away from Liv, and you could say that he's struggling from an addiction as well, which is being addicted to women because of the fact that, you know, he was getting beat up by Rhea Ripley, but still decided to get with her. And then he was being, you know, flirted on by Liv Morgan, even though he was with Rhea Ripley, but decided to go with Liv Morgan. You can run some whole little thing like that, and you could have him, you know, maybe you can have Ray come out there and start talking to him as like a dad and stuff like that. And then, you know, you start getting to like this whole, I don't know how deep you want to go with it, but you start having, like, you know, Ray talk about the fact that, like, you know, at one point in time he was a womanizer, and now sadly that's passed on to Dominic Mysterio, and that you could have Ray telling him, like, you know, Dom, you have a lot more to give to WWE. You don't have to be just this guy that's around the women and all that stuff. You got the gold on you now. Continue to be a great, or no. Actually, you know what? Maybe you don't have him win the IC belt, because then you could easily have Ray trying to be like that like battery in his back to really get him kickstarted again, so that he goes after goes after Finn Balor or whoever the heck has the belt, if it's Finn or Braun. He has him go after them, and then he gets the IC championship from him, and then Rey Mysterio's out there as well in his corner. And it's just a big old beautiful moment. I would really like that story, to be honest, because I feel like that's one of the things that we don't ever really talk about when it does come to men, is that womanizer from a lot of men is a lot of men that definitely are way too addicted to women, like way too addicted, to where their whole entire life just revolves around women, revolves around XYZ when it comes to women and all that stuff. So I think that would be a really good storyline to run with Dominic Mysterio if you really wanted to. I think this is probably the the best, like, I don't want to say it's the best way, because there's other great ways to turn a face as well. This is one of the better ways to turn him into a face that I think a lot of people would be able to get behind. So I think I want Dom to win because I feel like he does need a big win at WrestleMania now. He's already had, 3 straight losses, so a really big win for him would be good. But I'm going to say let's give it to Finn Balor, and then let's run this storyline with Dom and Finn. Heck, we could even start like the breakup around May if we really want to, of Dom leaving the Judgment Day instead of starting it right at WrestleMania, even though he has kind of already been, like little sprinkles of Finn Balor turning on Dominic Mysterio. Next up, though, we have Io Sky versus Bianca Belair versus Rhea Ripley. I don't know why Io Sky is like all in capitals. I did not capitalize that at all. But I think Io Sky does retain here. I don't think she needs to lose the belt this dang quickly. Bianca Belair, she can get the belt later on. She could easily get, she can get it back she can get it at Backlash if we really need to. But I think just giving Io Sky a good 4 to 5 month run with the belt is going to do good for her. You could even, no, you're not running Bianca and Rhea. If you have Rhea get pinned, I don't know. I swear, if Rhea gets pinned, Bianca has a match, and then we run Bianca versus Rhea because of the fact that Rhea is just crying again, I'm going to be so annoyed. But I think after this, Rhea takes some time off. I think she's probably going to take a few months off and then come back around SummerSlam. Bianca's probably the champion by then. Or Evolution, and we have Bianca versus Rhea there. I just hope that doesn't mean that Rhea would get the belt from Bianca, because then my whole cold take of Rhea would have 7 championships before she turns 30, which is already 27 now. She already has 3 of them. She would need 4 of them. We're going to inch real close to that. I think Io Sky does win here, though. Next up, the main event of the night, Cody Rhodes, John Cena. Delusional me is going to say Cody Rhodes. Delusional me is going to say Cody Rhodes. After looking back at the last episode, though, John Cena has to win this, or the heel turn just makes no sense. John Cena's going to win, and I really don't care to see him win, to be honest. I've never been a John Cena fan, never cared for the dude. I don't hate the dude by any means because I don't know him, like the person. I just don't care for John Cena, the wrestler. Just whatever to me. I don't like any one of this guy's feuds, I'm going to be honest with you. I think they're just all kind of, they're cool. I mean, I like some of her Punk, mainly because of CM Punk. I like the Randy stuff, mainly because of Randy. I like every feud John Cena's in because of the other person. And it's not even like, the good guy is so boring and I don't like them. No, it's not because of that. It's literally because I just think John Cena's a boring ass person. I've never been interested in any one of his promos, never been interested in any of his matches because of him. I just think John Cena's boring. I do. And if you think the same thing about Cody, cool. I always thought Cody Rhodes was a lot better. I think he's 10 times, well, I don't want to say 10 times. That's crazy because I know John Cena is actually good at certain things. I just think Cody Rhodes is a lot better, and I really want him to get this match because I feel like Cody Rhodes needs this match a lot more than John Cena does. Number 17 is not as important as solidifying your future face of the company, the guy that is running the company, and this is a very key moment for Cody Rhodes that I believe going forward would allow for, Cody to be the star that WWE believes he could be, and he could easily lose the belt to Randy. I'd rather see Randy get 15 to see John Cena get 17, in my opinion. Hell, I'd rather see Randy Orton get 16, 17 to see John Cena get 17. So, yeah, I'm going to say delusional-wise, I think Cody Rhodes win. Very obvious, though, it's going to be John Cena winning, and they're probably going to run John Cena versus Randy Orton at Backlash. Cody Rhodes probably takes a few months off, comes back around some point in time, and then gets that belt back eventually.